I want to welcome everybody to the 2021 Harrisburg Bureau of Fire Award Ceremony. Obviously, last year's was virtual, so it's good to have everybody back here and be able to do this in person the way it should be done. I'd like to introduce Chief Enterline for the opening remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to thank you for attending our annual award ceremony. I'd like to thank our congressional delegation for sending some representation. Mayor Pappenfuss and Councilwoman Asha Green is also with us. Thank you for your attendance. Before we begin, I would like to start by reading the names of those who lost their lives in the execution of their duties to the citizens of the city of Harrisburg, as we do every year, so we never forget the commitment that they made to our citizens. Samuel J. Miller, who died May 13th, 1859. William C. Fisher, March 28th, 1899. Charles F. Diker, April 19th, 1901. Eli K. Hoffman, May 13th, 1908. William Benner, August 15th, 1909. Samuel Wamball, November 21st, 1912. William Harris, April 8th, 1914. Bernard E. Goodyear, May 7th, 1927. Wilbur Sadler, May 7th, 1927. Edward Halbert, March 11th, 1935. William Metzger, June 1st, 1941. Donald E. Henry, August 22nd, 1953. William Corish, June 13th, 1978, and Dennis H. DeVoe, March 11th, 2017. It is in their memory that we will commemorate this ceremony today. The Bureau continues to look for innovative and progressive ways for service delivery and in all aspects of our department. And I've said before, and I'll continue to say it, that we're building upon the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire because we're fortunate to have a career fire staffed team here that are committed to serving not only the citizens of Harrisburg, but the surrounding communities. This past year, the Bureau of Fire, as well as our colleagues across the country, and quite frankly the world, have valiantly served the citizens of Harrisburg and the Harrisburg region as we navigated the COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic has changed the way we operate and changed the way we conducted business several times over the past 18 months. However, there's one thing that remains a constant, and that is the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire's commitment to willingly provide assistance to Harrisburg and the region. That commitment has been exhibited in many ways, to include the addition of more members to Pennsylvania Task Force 1, which allows them to take the knowledge, skills, and abilities that they've gleaned and take them throughout the United States under the direction of FEMA. We've also reorganized the South Central Task Force Urban Search and Rescue element to combine career firefighters from Harrisburg, York, Lancaster, and Manheim Township to serve the 9-county region of South Central Pennsylvania 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And the Bureau is finalizing a memorandum of understanding with the Borough of Paxton to provide service to the borough and its citizens. Under the MOU, effective January 1st, 2022, the Paxton Fire Company will fall under the command and control of the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire. This is an integral part of our creating a cost-effective and sustainable fire department for the region that is staffed by both career and volunteer members. We're continuing to discuss other opportunities in the Harrisburg region to provide this hybrid model of response, not only for the benefit of the taxpayers, but to ensure that there are firefighters to respond to their needs at a moment's notice. We're also committed to the safety and health of our members. A new records management system was implemented January 1st of this year so that we can better identify, understand, and prevent injuries and illnesses to our members. In addition, the Bureau of Fire was a regional partner to a FEMA grant that our congressional delegation helped us to achieve in the amount of $383,100. This grant will assist Harrisburg City and the townships of Lower Paxton, Susquehanna, and Swatara to provide cancer screenings, behavioral health exams, physical examinations, and fitness equipment for a combined 364 firefighters in our region. This is an exciting step, again, working regionally with our partners to provide the most efficient and effective services to our citizens, both here and throughout the Harrisburg region. It's also exciting to note that with the addition of the 3 new members of the Bureau of Fire that will be sworn in shortly, we've reached a significant milestone, one not seen in recent memory, and that is being at our fully budgeted complement of 90 personnel, including our office staff. We're committed to further growing our department as we look for ways to increase our efficiencies and service the entire region. We will use our recently released ISO, which is the Insurance Services Office's score, to better assist us in calculating insurance rates to guide those decisions. In January 2016, the Bureau was rated as a Class 4 due to a lack of manpower, tools, equipment, and significant water supply issues. We were able to make some emergency purchases back in 2016, and by June, we're able to increase our rating to a Class 3, thus averting a significant potential increase in assessments to the residents of the city by their insurance carriers. Due to our investment in personnel, tools, and equipment, and with a renewed working relationship with Capital Region Water, who's our water supplier for the city, our report was recently released and has us firmly in a Class 3 municipality. And we were in a Class 2 municipality within arm's reach, meaning we're going to use the downfalls that we currently have, some of those service downfalls that we have, and use those to increase our service capacity in a cost-effective way so that it benefits not only the city, but also the city taxpayers and ratepayers. We're proud of the achievements, but we're also cognizant that we need to do more to invest in our members, our buildings, our tools, and our equipment. We must continuously evaluate ourselves, explore new ideas and equipment, and ensure that we're talking and listening with the community to see what their needs and desires are for us. At the end of the day, each one of us is a public servant doing the people's work and keeping our commitment to our oath that we were sworn when we took office. In closing, I want to thank all the members of the Bureau of Fire for the hard work that they diligently do each day for the citizens of not only Harrisburg, but the Harrisburg region. The success of the Bureau is directly attributed to the great work that you do daily. To the elected officials, I would like to express gratitude for providing us with the needed funds to execute our mission. I will note, however, that there are more investments that need to be made, and a continual commitment to the Bureau of Fire is paramount for the protection of our community. Once again, I want to thank everybody for coming and attending our award ceremony for 2021. I will now turn the podium over to Mayor Eric Pappenfuss for a few remarks.
Thank you, Chief Ennerlein. That was great, and you did a terrific job surveying a lot of the improvements and growth that we've seen here at the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire over the past 8 years. But today is about giving thanks on behalf of the residents of this city and on behalf of the residents of our nation to the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire for all the work and effort that they've put in over the past year, both here in the city and throughout the country. We have come a long way, and I'm glad we're able to do this award ceremony here safely in this sort of quasi-outdoors environment with the breeze. It is a reminder that we are not through the woods yet with regard to COVID. It's still very much here and present in our city, but these fine individuals put themselves on the line every day, and will continue to do so and have done so throughout the entire pandemic. 8 years ago, as the chief alluded to, the Harrisburg Fire Department was in dire straits. We didn't have any new equipment. We certainly didn't have a beautiful vehicle like you see here behind me, or many of the vehicles that you see out there in the parking lot. The complement was what? About half of what we have now, right? Yeah, half. Can you believe that? There were warring factions between the elected officials and the department. It was a mess in Harrisburg. And today, with the swearing in of these 3 new officers, as the chief mentioned, we will be at a full complement, able not just to serve our own residents, but again, to be able to help with our surrounding municipalities and whenever needed throughout the country. That's an extraordinary thing. We are going to continue to invest in the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire. The improvements that you see, both to infrastructure, equipment, and personnel, will continue as we move forward. And importantly, we need to thank them repeatedly for all of their hard work through this pandemic, when they've really put their lives on the line for all of us. So we're going to get to the awards, but it is my great honor to begin the ceremony by swearing in our newest firefighters. So if they could step forward and I could get from you, no, there they come, from behind the screen. I need a copy of the oath, which I'm assuming you have over there. We'll get it. Meanwhile, if you turn to the middle of your program page, you will see our new swearing in of our firefighters. Dylan J. Landut, Jonathan T. Felty, and Cody A. Schaffner. The oath is coming. While we're waiting, let's give each of these gentlemen an opportunity to say something very briefly. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay, we're using the finest in new technology. All right. Well, we'll do the swearing in and then we'll get to the awards. So I will step forward. Together, if you could please raise your right hand and repeat together after me. I state your names.
I, Dylan Landis,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and uphold the Constitution of the United States of America
to support and uphold the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
and that I will, to the best of my ability,
and I will, to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties of my office
discharge the duties of my office
as a Harrisburg firefighter
as a Harrisburg firefighter
with fidelity.
with fidelity.
Congratulations. Welcome aboard. There you go, sir.
Oh, yep. You got the first one, and I got the next one. You got the first one.
All right. Okay. On to the awards portion. We apologize for not having that ready, but in typical fire department fashion, we handle the situation that's in front of us and we move on. So good job, everyone. So to begin, the first award will be for bravery. So on January 23rd, 2021, units were dispatched to report a structure fire at 1411 North 15th Street. Chief 5 arrived on scene with really conditions normal. So he decided to do a 360 of the building and found out that he had smoke showing from the rear of that house. At the same time, he noticed an occupant trying to climb out of a second-story window. The chief immediately updated arriving apparatus and confirmed entrapment on the second floor to the rear of the building. Upon arrival, Kyle Paul quickly grabbed a ground ladder and made his way to the window. He entered the building and assisted the victim to the ladder and down to awaiting firefighters. For this act of bravery, we would like to recognize firefighter Kyle Paul. While firefighter Paul was working on the rescue from the interior of the building, multiple ladders and equipment were needed to assist with the rescue. Firefighters on scene literally sprinted to the building with ladders and medical gear. They assisted the primary rescue and provided medical care to the patient on the second floor deck area before bringing him to the ground. The Harrisburg Bureau of Fire would like to recognize with the Award of Merit Captain Aldo Morelli, firefighter Zach Miller, firefighter James Grunden, firefighter Patrick Giberson, and firefighter John Pesky. Chief Lloyd, while doing a 360, spotted the helpless victim trying to free himself. Chief Lloyd's clear and concise actions and directions ensured immediate assistance would be provided. He also maintained a command presence while both the rescue and fire suppression actions were in progress. The Harrisburg Bureau of Fire would like to recognize Battalion Chief Jason Lloyd with the Award of Merit. An effective and rapid fire attack is critical for victim survival. Crews held the fire to the area of origin and quickly extinguished it. This provided crucial time for the rescue crews to locate and evacuate the victim. Everyone working as a team and staying focused on their jobs is the reason the rescue was possible. The Harrisburg Bureau of Fire would like to recognize with the unit citation Lieutenant William Skinner, Lieutenant Jeffrey Miller, firefighter Nathaniel Barbolish, firefighter Jared Day, firefighter Joseph Kuhn, firefighter Thomas Probst, firefighter Michael Stender, and firefighter Justin Zimmerman. That's it. Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations. We'll get a picture here real quick. Do you need to double it up or you? One line or do it two? Oops. Congratulations. On July 18, 2021, units were dispatched for pedestrian struck at the intersection of Thompson and Evergreen Streets. Upon arrival, squad personnel found an individual trapped under the vehicle. They immediately began to assess the patient and develop a strategy to safely and efficiently remove them. With the assistance of Tower 1, they prepared a system to lift and stabilize the vehicle to free the entrapped person. Members worked swiftly and efficiently to complete the rescue. The victim was removed and transported to the trauma center for treatment. Teamwork and quick thinking made the difference in this incident. For this, the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire would like to recognize, with a unit citation, Battalion Chief Brian Bastinelli, Lieutenant Robert Lowen, firefighter David Gilkey, firefighter Brandon Trigar, firefighter Shane Conrad, firefighter Jamie Kleckner, and firefighter Thomas Cucchiera. Congratulations.
We are going to move on to some CPR SAVE awards. The The first one, on December 5th, 2020, Wagon 3 and Truck 2 were dispatched to the 500 block of Woodbine Street to assist EMS. Fire Bureau members arrived and helped carry an elderly female from her home to the awaiting ambulance. Once inside the ambulance, the patient went into cardiac arrest. Firefighter Jared Day was instructed to assist the EMS crew in the back of the ambulance while it was being driven to the hospital. Upon arrival at the hospital, the patient had regained a pulse. The actions taken by Firefighter Day in concert with the EMS crew are credited with saving the patient's life. The Harrisburg Bureau of Fire would like to recognize Firefighter Jared Day with the CPR Save Award. On February 5th, 2021, Wagon 4 and Tower 1 were dispatched to the east wing of the Capitol to assist EMS. Fire Bureau members arrived to find several Capitol police officers and Capitol staffers performing CPR on an unconscious person. Fire Bureau members were advised that it was a witnessed cardiac arrest event, and they immediately began integrating into the life-saving efforts. Members continued providing patient care and began preparing the patient to be transported to the ambulance. By the time the patient was loaded into the ambulance, he had regained a pulse and was breathing on his own. Quick and effective actions made as part of a team are credited as saving the patient's life. The Harrisburg Bureau of Fire would like to recognize the following members for a CPR Save Award: Lieutenant Corey Stone, Firefighter David Aguayo, Firefighter William Junkin, Firefighter Jonathan Little, Firefighter Shane Conrad, Firefighter Thomas Cucchiera, and Firefighter Austin Howard. On February 19th, 2021, Wagon 3 and Truck 2 were dispatched to the 100 block of Hamilton Street to assist EMS. Upon arrival, Fire Bureau members found a 27-year-old male laying on the floor unconscious. Members began CPR and other life-saving efforts, and before he was loaded into the ambulance, the patient had regained a pulse and was breathing on his own. Decisive actions and quality patient care are credited as saving the patient's life. The Harrisburg Bureau of Fire would like to recognize the following members with a CPR Save Award: Captain Charles Zavrell, Firefighter Richard Brocious, and Firefighter Nicholas Hurst. Last one. On September 10th, 2021, Squad 8 was dispatched to the 2500 block of Greenwood Street to assist EMS with a cardiac arrest. Upon arrival, Fire Bureau members found a 57-year-old female unconscious in her living room. A bystander advised that they had walked into the room and just found her like that. Fire Bureau members began CPR and successfully delivered one shock with an AED. When EMS arrived, they integrated into the life-saving process and began administering advanced life support interventions. Before leaving in the ambulance, the patient had regained a pulse. Quick actions taken as a team are credited as saving the patient's life. The Harrisburg Bureau of Fire would like to recognize the following members with a CPR Save Award: Lieutenant Brian Yonkin, Firefighter Marty Henderson, Firefighter Glenn Rudensky.
All right, thank you, Chief Sadis. And as you can see, we integrate very well with Life Team EMS. And Life Team was just awarded a CPR Save Award at the national level for having one of the highest rates of survival once those patients reach the hospital. So, and that's a testament to the work of the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire and our partners at Community Life Team EMS. All right, we will continue on with our Pennsylvania Task Force 1 awards, as well as one special award for national deployment. Between January 19th and 21st of 2021, members of the Pennsylvania Task Force were deployed to assist with the civil unrest in Philadelphia after the inauguration of President Joe Biden. Those members that were deployed on that particular deployment were Senior Deputy Chief Michael Souter, Battalion Chief Jason Lloyd, Lieutenant William Skinner, Firefighter Brian Riddle, Firefighter Zachary Miller, and Firefighter Michael Bruch. On June 21st, 2021, at approximately 1:25 a.m., the unthinkable happened. The south building of the Champlain Towers complex suffered a partial and progressive collapse. This would cause major structural damage to a 12-story occupied apartment complex in Florida. Knowing hundreds of people may have still been inside the building at the time of the collapse, first responders immediately began the tedious process of digging through the rubble in search of survivors. Part of that response was the FEMA team, Pennsylvania Task Force 1, out of Philadelphia, with members from the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire. They deployed and arrived and worked 12-hour shifts around the clock for nearly 2 weeks. Sometimes they were digging by hand through the debris. Those members deployed to Surfside, Florida include Battalion Chief Floyd Wise, Lieutenant William Skinner, Firefighter Pablo Pasalacqua, Firefighter Michael Bruch, Captain Aldo Morelli, Firefighter Nathan Martin, Firefighter Joshua Hall, and Firefighter Benjamin Page. On August 27th, Hurricane Ida threatened not only the Gulf Coast, but also the remnants coming towards Pennsylvania. Members of the Pennsylvania Task Force 1 were deployed ahead of the anticipated landfall of Hurricane Ida. Ida quickly strengthened from a Category 1 to a Category 4 as it headed towards Louisiana, Mississippi, and eventually Pennsylvania. Knowing from past instances, these Cat 4 storms wreak havoc on that region, and knowing that there was potential for rescues to be made, FEMA made the big step to place multiple task forces up and down the East Coast. One of those task forces was Pennsylvania Task Force 1, with Harrisburg Bureau of Fire members Senior Deputy Chief Michael Souter, Battalion Chief Floyd Wise, Battalion Chief Jason Lloyd, Lieutenant Matthew Kuntz, Firefighter Joshua Hall, Firefighter Nathan Martin, Firefighter Michael Schack, Firefighter Brian Riddle, Firefighter Justin Zimmerman, Firefighter Joshua Winters, Firefighter Pablo Pasalacqua, and firefighter Benjamin Page. And our last National Deployment Award is a little special this year in that typically our National Deployment Awards go for FEMA deployments. This particular award is being issued to firefighter Brent Hill, who was deployed to the West Coast as a TACP specialist from the Pennsylvania Air National Guard during the wildland fire season. Firefighter Hill worked in support of the National Interagency Fire Center, and his mission was to coordinate military aircraft and fire bosses who were working the front lines of these devastating wildfires. He also served as a liaison between military units and the federal, state, and local fire assets. Although he would cover fires in 6 different states, he spent the majority of his time in deployments in California. We congratulate him on his receiving the National Deployment Award on behalf of the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire. And I don't believe Firefighter Hill was able to join us today. They're going to let me keep talking. Every year for the last couple of years, we've awarded a Fire Chiefs Award to a member that has done outstanding service for the citizens of Harrisburg. This year, though, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we're awarding that award to every member of the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire. The past year has been a constant challenge for the Bureau as we continue to navigate the COVID-19 pandemic. Our members have continued to provide the best services to our citizens in Harrisburg and the Harrisburg region throughout these uncertain and trying times. We as firefighters are emergency fixers, the worst day responders of the community. No matter the issue that's thrown at us, we know we can fix it. That is until COVID showed up on our doorsteps. Harrisburg firefighters have a long and storied history with doing just that. The pandemic was one of the largest and longest lasting emergencies that we'll ever deal with in our careers. We were challenged every day with new and constantly changing information, directives, mandates, and quite possibly the hardest of all, our own personal feelings. This continues to rock us to our core, deciphering what to believe, decoding personal beliefs, and trying to understand others, all while continuing to serve alongside of one another with fidelity to accomplish one common goal: solve Mrs. Smith's bad day problem efficiently and effectively. This year's Fire Chiefs Award, therefore, is being awarded to every member of the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire for their continued commitment to the city and the region as we navigate the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic together. We'd like to recognize some members for their continued years of service to the Bureau. Yeah, I got it. I like to keep talking. 25 years, Battalion Fire Chief Brian Bastinelli, who's unable to join us today as he's in a Midwest excursion for vacation. 20 years of service, Battalion Chief Cornell Bradford. 15 years of service, Firefighter John Matson, Firefighter Jonathan Morrow, Lieutenant Corey Stone, and Firefighter Bobby Jones. Bobby, I didn't think you were more than 15. And for 5 years of service, Firefighter Thomas Cucchiera, Firefighter Michael Shack, Firefighter Kyle Paul, and Firefighter Pablo Pasalacqua.
This year, we have one new member who is a military veteran to add to our rolls, Firefighter Cody Schaffner, who served in the U.S. Army. Thank you for your service. And lastly, we have retirements. Each fall, the Fire Bureau recognizes members who've retired since the last award ceremony. This year, we have one member to recognize, Firefighter Desean Dennis.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I love each and one of y'all. And stay safe out there. And how about them Cowboys?
This concludes the 2021 award ceremony. You don't have to go home, but you got to go.